Help me get it underway, Grandpa. Somebody called Lonely Heart, writing to Grandpa Coyote. Dear Grandpa, I quoted verbatim now. I didn't make this up. It just come flowing through our heart, okay? Dear Grandpa, I cheated on my husband and my boyfriend found out, and he's threatening to tell my husband, and I don't know how to work it out. Grandpa, help me, please. I've got this disease. I'm on fire. By the way, no, well, we won't read the rest of that. But anyway, here's my practical advice to that lonely heart out there. Wow, I don't know, man. Shit, what are you going to do? That's kind of a mixed up mess, ain't it? Wow, well, I'll tell you what you do. You get comfortable inside of yourself. And, you know, everybody knows. So you really ain't been getting away with anything. Your boyfriend knew all along. About your girlfriend, too, you know. I mean, you didn't put that in the letter, did you? But there it is, you know. And, ooh, your husband, well, shoot. That dude, he's so laid back, he could care less, man. He just, likes you, you know. He really does. You're his friend, man, you know. You guys have been together long enough to handle that now, haven't you? So don't you worry about him and the boyfriend. Well, maybe it's time to get a new one, eh? Maybe it ain't such a direct thing. Maybe it's time, you know, talk to your own man and ask him to pick you one out, you know. Maybe he'll want to videotape it or something. Okay, we're having fun and pulling your leg here on the Koyote Medicine Show. Only and exclusively on the ever-loving, sweethearted, and kind of delightful in the morning Hazy Radio Network with Grandpa Coyote and friends and babies. They are angelic, you know, because you can tell they're a little bit demonic at times too, man. Boy, you got to watch out for the Cupid ones are the worst ones. They're well represented with a bow and arrow in their hand. Let me tell you, that thing stings when it hits you. And usually they ain't aiming for your heart. You know where that arrow goes. They don't want you to sit down no more. They want you to stay up and keep rocking. That's what I'm talking about. There's some mischievous angels about here in this reality, man. And a lot of them are very coyote. You know, they've played some games on humanity like you wouldn't believe. Oh, I guess you would. Because you're kind of waking up to it, man. But, oh, my God. This is Free Day Friday, right? Here on the Koyote Medicine Show. Well, babies, here we are getting in the flow of it, eh? Starting to catch on. John and Jane and June and Janet, too, man. We're all going to see it through Bob and Carol and Ted and Alice, too. You remember that old movie? Ooh, that was a wild thing, man. There was, you know, that was CIA, man. They wanted everybody to go, you know, join the swingers club. So, so they put out this movie called Bob and Carol and Ted and Alice that made it look really sweet to, you know, share alike and stuff like that, you know. Well, it was kind of a hippie thing too, but I'll tell you what, when I was, you know, 18, 19, it was a total inspiration. God, I loved being a hippie back then. It was so much fun, let me tell you. Well, it still is. Because I still are. I ain't loose as a goosey like that anymore. Here in the heart I am. Shit, I love everybody. I can't help myself. You know, I just roll over and play dead every time I see you, man. Because you guys just thrill me to the bone, to the marrows of my bones and stuff, man. I'm telling you, especially the feminine variety. It's my entertainment. Hell no. It's my heart in motion. Looking at you saying, wow, what a beautiful thing this great heart can do. You know, like watching the willows weave in the wind down by the creek or something, you know, while it gurgles on by. It's like that. It's just Mother Nature in motion in some of her most beautiful, simple, poetic forms. Now, I know we've let, you know, this life get kind of complex, you know, and we've let it get really out of hand, you know. We've got ourselves so far away from the willow in the wind thing that not everybody sees that. A lot of folks can't help but look at one another with lust, and if somebody shows them a little skin, they go crazy. You know, well, shoot. It's a phase, and I guess we had to go through it. I mean, you know, wow. You know, when I look at that side of my male presence in my younger days, well, my younger days last a long time. They're finally calming down now, but, you know, I never was really that way. I mean, I could feel that way. I could never act that way. You know what I mean? I didn't believe the bullshit. You know, I knew there was something really powerful there. And I also knew there was an energy trying to get me to demean it in every way possible so that I'd never feel or get there or do whatever it was we thought we had to do there. You know what I mean? Never get clear. And there's bundles of confusion, but I'll tell you what, back there when Bob and Carol and Ted and Alice came out, the CIA, just like when they unleashed pot on us, they really didn't know which way they were directing the flow. They thought they were making us more under control, breaking apart the family, taking out stability in society. We're so evil, you know. But the reality was they were teaching us how to love. In so many ways you couldn't even count them on both hands and 10 toes, man. I mean, you know, we were starting to blossom like a rose in those younger days, and there was an innocence about it, you know. Of course, there was always the demonic presence hanging out on the edge, trying to take advantage of everybody. It's always like that, you know. Well, it has been anyway. It ain't like that so much anymore. We've seen through the demonic presence on this here radio show. Yes, indeed, and a whole lot more. So now we dance with the devil because she's kind of delightful too, man. I mean, you know, when I look at her, I see you, you know. Well, I see an angel too. I mean, you know, they're the same thing, man. I don't define myself into hell anymore. I redefine myself and allow paradise to be living, you know. And so anything that's loving can be given. If I got to dance with the devil to do that, well, babies, bring her on, you know. She's beautiful, man. And I love her heart and soul, and she know it too, man. Irresistible, this heart. Not just because it's old Grandpa Coyote. Who the hell cares what person it is? The heart expressed as this person is irresistible. You know, if this heart says yes, and your heart does too, well, that's what I mean. Boom! It's there, see? And that don't happen very often, but when it does, it's so cosmic, because you get it from inside yourself first and foremost. That's where the blossoming is, and where the goddess arises right out of the flower, the center bud. Well, who's the goddess? What's the center bud? Humanity. We're the mother goddess. Buffalo goddess on the prairie, man, and in the mountains high and everywhere else too. And, you know, wherever creation is, we are. And she is beautiful, spectacular. Blossomed right out of this prairie flower of love that we've become, man. I mean, look at the petals spreading out. There's no end to the blossoming. There's no end to the flowering of love. And there's no stopping it either. It's like kudzu. It just takes over. You cut it back, burn it back, kick it around, plow the ground. Ooh, you get more. You know, lots more. It takes over everything, you know. Well, in that case, it smothers it out. In this case, it brings it about. Brings up the mother love mightily in every presence. See, when you're conscious of the mother presence, you can't be masculine anymore. You can't be emasculated anymore either. You can only be beautifully so what you are, whether that's male or female. You know, the presence is the same in the energetic heart, the mother love. And this is what we've been seeking to share forever. The singularity of heart. The celebration of the singularity of heart. That's how we bring about divine union, because it's already there. Inside each one of us, see, and there is no one on this earth exempted. It's there. We all live in that space. Now we're just learning how to do it, how to roll with it, how to flow with it, how to allow it to be. It starts in feelings like this, where you got so much unity that we are ever expanding into creation. You feel it, you see it, you live it. That's just the way it is. Beautifully so. Thank you, Mother Goddess, for being our heart and soul, our rhythm that rocks our roll. You know, it's no wonder that males have lusted after the female presence for so long, because they couldn't love the mother inside themselves. They had to hate it, push it aside. You know, be masculine, caveman, monkey, monkey, monkey. Well, we all played our part in that, you know. Geez, it really got out of hand. But, you know, without having the seasoning of that jungle monkey experience, let's call it, how would any of us know how it feels to be a little more civil and in love, totally and completely, with your divine presence, your own self? And then you got something to share by recognition of that presence is the same in another. Though she may be a he or he may be a she, whatever it is. That party that, ignites the flame even stronger because you're celebrating a fullness. You're no longer coming together out of any sort of lust, greed, need. Any feeling of emptiness is evaporated away like water on a hot rock on a sunny day, man. Shoot. And its sweet vapor is, it's like the fragrance of a rose, man. You smell it from 100 miles away and you love it so. It just brings you back to life. Energizes you. See, that's what happens. That's the fertile side of life. You let all that dark shit melt away and it becomes the bright vapor of love, the atmosphere that energizes us and gets us going again, Gets us feeling. See, that's where we've been denying our feelings, down there in that dark side, where as we've seen it. Whatever it was that you saw as resistant in yourself, that's where it's been harbored, Just so we could play with it a little bit. You got to understand we're kids. We're little kids, in spiritual terms, even though we're ancient as the dust is, we're still just little kids starting to catch on, you see. So we're allowed an experience or two, an experiment or two, even when we burn our little fingers doing it. But there are limitations here. And we have been imprisoned, in a sense. I mean, is a playpen a prison or is it a paradise? See, if you're free in the playpen to be and do whatever you want to be and do there, because it's kind of harmless in that way. I mean, you've got to learn your lessons. That's why you're there. But, you're playing your way through it. It's not working. Babies don't know what work is. They only know play. They only know simplicity and truth. But they couldn't define it as that until they grew up just a tiny bit. Had to go through a little experience now, didn't we? Well, the spaceship love is on its way. In fact, it's arising right there inside of your heart. And right along with it comes the light of day, the brightness of truth shining in every person that is. And every person shall be in that moment of love spectacularly. Because every person lives for it right now. And that's, that gives you impetus to keep it going just a little more, don't it? Don't be falling on the floor just yet. But even if you do, it ain't all through. It's coming right back to you, baby. You can't let it go now. You might as well hang on to what you got and let it grow. Because if you let go, you just let go into it anyway, just a different way. It's a little harder that way. It's a lot easier this way. Just flow. But who cares? Ease is what you want. Unburdening yourself and finding a blessing in the burdens you carried for so long and the illusion of all that heaviness and darkness and pain. You find the jollier side of it. It starts to resonate with a different energy. It kind of de-densifies, de-reptilifies. Scaly little snakes, maybe. Dragons, actually. But delightful ones, like Puff the Magic Dragon. Cute little things, man. Mischief. Emotion. See? And when you find that rooted reality and you experience this full presence we're talking about that you'll later on share, well, I guess you're sharing it right here, aren't you? In the full presence of unified harmony. See, there's no definition on these lives anymore. They're just aspects of ourselves. Just different forms of expression. Like, there's a snowflake, there's a raindrop, there's a leaf on a tree, and there's a butterfly. Different forms of expression. Living happily as we are. All of this. If we just allow it to be. Allow the mischief to show us the synchronicity. Allow the love to be real. More real than you ever imagined it to be. Dwell in the heart that you feel. Let us expand and grow, each one of us, as the personal universal heart, presence in all, shared with all, living in all, loving in all, because love is life and living is love in motion. Yeah. Coyote Medicine? Hey, this is simple, baby. This is Dick and Jane, and see Jane run and see Dick say, I ain't going to chase the poor kid. She'll come back to me when she's ready. It's primal stuff. We're just learning how to read and be this heart. So don't be afraid, and don't feel stupid if somebody's pulling up a magic big old book and trying to teach you how to read your own silly heart. We're at that stage now. Nothing wrong with that. We're graduating now to kindergarten kids. This is first grade. Yeah, we're going to get really indoctrinated now. More like intoxicated, because innocent kids know how to party. They have no real restrictions in their dreams. And you know what? Our teachers and guides and helpers here are pretty doggone tolerant about what we want to be, especially if it's celebratory. Geez, all they can do is encourage you, because they know that's how you expand and grow and get the orgasm on, don't you know? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not being crude or rude. I'm saying that's where the centering heart goes. It's expansive in that orgasmic way. That's what creation is. One huge orgasm. Okay, live it, baby. It's Free Day Friday. I'm handing it right to you here on a silver platter. Okay? Don't tell me it doesn't matter. It certainly does. This is your own love emotion, baby. Ooh, you're so foxy with it. I love you so. You sweet little vixen, you. Grandpa Coyote. Letting go. And a whole lot more. Here on a Free Day Friday. Only and exclusively on the Koyote Medicine Show. Here on the Hazy Radio Network, don't you know? There you go, lighting me all up again here on this Koyote Medicine Show. Got me shining like the sun, don't you know, so brilliant and beautiful. Oh, I feel it inside my hide. 'Cause you've taken that magic carpet ride right along with us, babies. Ooh, we got higher than the mountains and broader than the earth and more expansive than the universe. In just a heartbeat of time, in one moment, we realize the nature of the divine. It's delightfully creative and mischievously so. Coyote medicine through and through, don't you know? So don't be afraid of the coyote. No matter what he takes from you, he always gives back a whole lot more than he takes. She too, 'cause they hunt in pairs, don't you know? Whether they know it or not, man, maybe they're just mystically in tune, and she's on that side of the river and you're on this side of the river, but babies, you're working together all the time. And that stream don't divide you, it unites you. It reminds you of the ocean of love and unifies you in that ocean of love that both of you inhabit as a part of that river too. See, the river of life is filled with love. And that's all we can be doing now, is living that love that the river of life brings to us continually and flows through us into the most expansive and beautiful art of creation ever there could be. Each one of us, naturally. In our own way, our own time too. But the time is now. For the old time is over. We're done with that now. There's changes in this reality, in the way we see. And what you see is what be, you see. So in other words, as you deepen your understanding in this living work of art we call the heart, you become far more creative in it and able just to be spontaneous right here in this moment, to let it just flow through you and move with the flow of it. If you're moved at all, usually you're just there expanding and glowing and experiencing everyone else's movement too. You see, it's all inside of you. This is why environment's been so important to you before, because you're so sensitive that you know it all, you feel it all, because that's how you know it, is by feeling. It's not a mental process at all. It's organic. It's rooted in the heart, expressed through the rooted reality of our bodily presence, our little feets and toesies too, right down into the earth, rooted to the heart of love from which we blossom and grow. Then become that sweet replication of the goddess in motion, don't you know? Liberation for every nation, every tribe. When they see the universality of your heart, there is no war. Not here on earth, not in the skies, not in the inner earth either. Nowhere is there to be this activity we've called war before. We don't do that no more, man. It's silly. It's child's play anyway, man. Besides that, you're trying to blow up planets and shit now and getting all too big for your britches, just like you did back in the Atlantean days. Speaking to those in the shadowy background, again, have to give them their due today. They're family, don't you know? Can't neglect them. So anyway, you guys, thanks for your contribution to the great heart of love. Thanks for all the technology you've developed there for the benefit of all of humankind. I never say mankind, and if I do, I better not say it again, eh? Humankind. See, I kind of neutralized the term. You know, it's not genderized at all. For a male is the mother goddess just as well as the female is. Each inhabit different aspects of her inside of their presence, but each has the full presence of her too. The aspects we call a personality. That's our personal experience in it. The reality is, well, we're both in the same space, all of us. See, it's the uniting of the tribe of the heart of humanity. We begin it right here. And from here on, everyone gets it clear. That's the nature of the Coyote Medicine and the Coyote Medicine Show, and old Grandpaw too, and my buddy Obi-Wan Kenobi, who is my little whiny weenie dog. Looks more like a sausage dog these days. Got to get him out and get him working just a bit more. Me too. I'm getting a little rusty, man. Oh, except there's winter storm coming. I'm probably going to be shut in again this weekend. Oh, well. That's the way it goes, man. I love the snow, and when I don't have to get out in it and push a big old truck down the highway, don't you? And that's a metaphor too, babies. Don't you just love it when you know you don't have to bust your ass to make a living anymore? Now that's a metaphor, and a metaphor and a half. See, that's what we're right on the cusp of now, in the 3D too. It's all coming your way now, all of it. So this weekend, man, surround it with your open arms and be blessed by it. And just let any old travesty or tragedy that seems to be lingering just get out of the way. It'll be bowled over by it anyway. So just be real, man. It's like the Fountain of Youth, the Horn and Plenty, and, you know, the Magic Fairy Godmother, too, and all the rest of them got together and says, let's juice up this reality a little bit, man. This party's kind of lagging, and these guys are kind of dragging, and looks like they're going to pull out the bigger than nukes again and all this stuff. You know, like I said, we children have our limitations, but we also have our coyote ways, too. Just like the angels who mess around with you and who are so mischievous that they would deceive a whole segment of population into believing that they could develop technology secretly away from all the rest of the humanity and run and hide with all the marbles, men, and keep them to themselves forever. Only the privileged and the honored get to do this, you know, and only if you kiss the proper you-know-what. And many times over, you know, that's the military way, and unfortunately that's how it structured itself. But fortunately, there was a lot of coyote mischief at play. And we release them from their misery today. See, a lot of the killing they think they've been doing has been an illusion, too. I mean, you know, the whole idea of all this exotic weaponry, kind of a science fiction, don't you see? You know, just wait till they try and do it. Because they won't. See, we're over that now. See, they're starting to realize right along with the rest of us that everything we've ever done here has been in service to humanity, to the human heart, to the mother love that nurtures us into being. Everything. And that's not to neglect the father energy or to put down the male. The male presence reassembled itself greatly now. But so does the female presence too. See, we're unifying. You see, we appreciate the divine in both forms of expression, but we don't have to be polarized any longer. Haven't you ever noticed that? How some people kind of repulse you and other people kind of draw you in, just boom, like that? Well, that's the old polarity in work, man, you see. See how we're going to have a completely different approach now, a far more open-hearted approach to our love affairs, let's say. It's creation in motion, for heck's sakes, guys. It's the most sacred thing there could ever be. Flowing through your heart right now, don't you see? It's precious. And it's real as all get out. And that's the energy of the child, running wild in this life and loving itself for it. See, you just set yourself free. There's no definition for it. Just be. Just be allowing. Be glowing. Be glittering like the sunlight that you are. Feel that warmth from inside. I mean, it's like created of all the little cells and submolecular things inside of you, man. All of it is light and love. And you're the ocean in motion, given in physical form, with an auric field that's just killer. Rainbows everywhere, I tell you, baby. The rainbow of creation. It's like you're the horn of plenty. That when you open your mouth, your heart opens and creation just goes kaboomy because you sang a note or two somewhere. See, there you go. See, you did it just there. Ain't we fun? Oh, Coyote, getting you on the run today as you work towards your weekend, setting yourself free on a free day Friday. And that's the way it'll be for the rest of this day and forever too, man. Because this moment is now and it lasts in the Ann Howe moment of love. Embrace the kid. He knows what you did. And she forgives you for it, man. Believe it or not, man. Because really, you're just a kid. How could you know any better than that? Huh, babies? Yeah, we're unraveling this whole perception of light and dark. Finding the way to put a little contrast into our art. You betcha. We're pretty smart little kids. For a bunch of bumpkins, we're doing all right, babies. Hey, I'll see you Monday morning for another flight. The Coyote Medicine Show on the Hazy Radio Network. Ooh, lovingest network you ever found. Babies, ain't you glad you're hanging around in the morning here? Oh, and by golly, we've got 2 more hours of Coyote Medicine coming your way, too, in the form of a reflight. So here you want to stay, babies, because it do be fun to come out with Coyote and play. Hey? This is the dawning of the age of Aquarius.